obviously the camera is right there on the screen.
Okay, got it. All right.
The mixed bag. Even an upgrade is a mixed bag.
Looks great, though. Looks great.
Good.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, guys.
What's up,
Hey.
Robert?
Great to see you
Doing
all.
good, yeah. Doing good. Just trying to get my volume to turn up a little bit, which is kind of bizarre. Not sure why it's not working.
Are you home now, Rick?
Yes, finally.
Long trip?
Yeah, I mean, it was, as you said, a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crossing international borders these days is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They are not kidding around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I won't go into the whole sordid details and bore you all, but there were certainly some moments where practice was lost, practice was found. There was a lot of opportunities to observe myself and get lost in the situation. But I guess I could summarize it like this very easily. Every time I was able to focus on others, like cooking for others or entertaining others like children or whatever, or shopping for others for gifts, things were pretty smooth and enjoyable. But every time there was anxiety related to what's going to happen to my time, what's going to happen to my money, what's going to happen to whatever, my health, that's when the problems arose. So it was a great chance for reflection. Not a lot of like sit down disciplined practice the way I like to do, but little moments of it when I could grab it. That was the best I can muster. But all along I did my best to try and maintain a pretty steady observation of what was going on inside as things were being thrown in my direction, out of left field, things I knew were going to happen, but did not quite the way they did, all these things. And it was just, wow. And I realized what a safe little protected bubble I constructed in my own little arena. And then I was thrown in some real practice, some real situations, And then it was like, well, that was a really good opportunity, maybe a little too real sometimes, but it was a good opportunity. So I'll say that's the quickest way to say it all. So
that all sounds wonderful, Rick. I'm glad you chose to share that much at least, because that just sounds wonderful. I'm sure everyone else is thrilled to hear as well, and I especially liked the insight that you had around selflessness.
Yeah, that's right. That's something that came to me on the plane when I finally was allowed to board, when I was finally on my way, and I was in that, mildly to extremely uncomfortable seat, in the main cabin. And I was thinking to myself, what, like, kind of like a lot of times when you might close a sitting, close a practice, and you do some of that reflection. Where did you go? Where did your mind go? Where did your body go? What were your concerns? What kept coming up? And sort of like as a whole, and it's nice because you also have that physical feeling of being above, like physically above the earth, or flat earth. And then you have the sort of more meta of your own mind, of like, okay, of your experience. Let's see an overview of what happened. And that was my summation, I guess, in this trip. So.
That sounds great.
Sounds awesome, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, and that whole part about not having the opportunity to have those experiences when you're in your fortress.
Right, it's been many of us carefully constructed so that it's on purpose, definitely inside and out, so that we don't get shaken and rattled and rolled.
Yeah.
Right? Whether we mean to or not, it happens as a matter of kind of like protecting our practice, protecting our shell. But then you get thrust into what else is going on, into that noisy, dusty world of commerce and relationships and social expectations and travel, and boom, you're in it. And not to sound pretentious, but Jack Kerouac talked a little bit about this in his book called Dharma Bums. If you guys want a good read, check it out. He's kind of an old style, but Kerouac was kind of one of those one of the hipsters from a long ways back in the 60s. And On the Road is the one that everyone like refers to as the book, but actually Dharma Bums is a lot stronger than that.
Okay.
So check it out if you like. Yeah.
Can you drop the name of it in the chat?
Yeah, I got you. No problem. Yeah.
I never really liked on the Road. I couldn't get through it.
Because the characters didn't develop. Whenever there's no character development, when the characters wind up back in the same place, you're basically watching a sitcom, right? Everybody just goes in a cycle. But when there's character development, when there's actually character development, that's when you feel some sort of either catharsis or satisfaction. I don't know if that's his last name spelling, Kerouac. I'm just being phonetic. My mind's still a little bit mush, so anyway. All right, I talked for a while. Sorry, guys.
Hey, no, it was great to hear. Really great to hear, and I suppose what I expected.
Yeah.
Really, that there would be rich insight, and that you would have great success, and maybe also some challenge, because who's not going to be challenged by all of those others who are so ready and willing to dump their dukkha on us? And
Baby dukkha.
I need it now.
Baby dukkha. Yeah, I couldn't resist. It was right there. I couldn't help it. It was you. Did you let me have that one?
Yeah. Well, welcome home.
Thanks, man.
Good to see you, dog.
Hi.
Good to see you smiling.
Am I?
Well, you were, and now you are again.
I am, yeah.
Now Robert's gone.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
It is infectious. It is infectious. I see Joe's beard rising a couple inches.
That's true.
How's things, dog?
Man. Pretty intense a lot of the time. I made the drive back from my parents' place to Nora and my shared place today. And I was terrified of the drive, because on the drive there I had another experience that was very challenging, that basically forced me to stop and pace around in the freezing cold for the better part of an hour.
Wow.
And that's why I was pretty scared of the drive here. Today for the most part, it went fine, which I consider a huge success.
Yeah.
But towards the end of it, there was something happened that shook me a bit, because I really felt it was like, as it is on drives, you have a place where there's like a bit bigger view, and kind of experientially, it kind of felt like within me, but also kind of reflected in the surroundings. It kind of felt like there was this infinite void opening up.
Ooh.
And that was pretty terrifying, because for a while there it seemed that me and the whole world were to be devoured by the void, never to be seen again.
Sounds like the beginning of a film.
Yeah, but it was pretty damn scary. I've had things like that a few times, and always the reaction was just that of some ranging from intense fear to sheer terror. I could never really relax into it.
So when you talk about a void, Doug, how did you experience that?
It's very hard to put into words.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just like this, I don't know. There's like it first came about when I looked out like into the distance with clouds and everything and more distant hills and shit like that, and views that would have been kind of fine before, but it felt like empty vastness or something like that. And like at least for me in my experience, a degree of terrifying vastness. Like I don't know.
What's terrifying about it, brother?
I'm not sure. It feels. I think the thing that I could most pinpoint right now is the immensity of it. The absolute immensity of it. Like I don't know. I almost had it. It was accompanied by thoughts like, oh man, when I stare into that direction, there it goes basically into the vastness of outer space, which is unfathomable. And I don't know. It's really a hard thing for me to really portray in words what actually happened.
Well, when we stop pinning things down in the mind so hard, it's quite often that we'll have a contrasting experience of open vastness. And what I'm interested in is, I wonder if there's anything that you could do to play with that fear. I know you've played with all kinds of terrifying sensations before. Because is there any reason that open vastness should be scary?
Not particularly. I can't really explain it.
Oh, yeah, we're in very difficult territory with regard to words.
Yes.
Do you feel that way if you look at the ocean?
What?
Do you feel that way if you look at the ocean? Because it's also pretty vast, and you really can't fathom the end of that. Do you get the same sensation? Have you had the same sensation?
I haven't been to the beach or something, or out on the water in a while. But I could imagine. I actually think there's an interesting connection. I've always been kind of afraid of heights, and lately, or within the last few years, also like generally like vast open views had also the potential to evoke some kind of discomfort in me.
I think what I'm interested in most, Doug, is there any way that you could separate out the phenomena from the interpretation?
I tried that. I tried it.
Cool.
It's
great.
It's actually been happening these last days, and I've had moments where I pretty immediately found a significant decrease in misery when being able to recognize, oh man, that actually are merely thoughts, or that's mostly a sensation.
Oh man, he's ready. He's ready with the noises, sound effects. The drummer is ready with the sound effects. Are any of us surprised?
Well done.
Yes, that
sounds like victory to me.
Was a success. I also realized, because it was, well, for the first time, it was very, very tangible. For the first time, I kind of felt able to be like, oh man, if I go into direct experience and see that there's thought, but there's also just, so to say, just a sensation in the body that made the story behind it drop away, at least for a second, and immediately there was a significant decrease in misery.
Love it.
And I tried to do that as well with that experience, but it didn't work that well, because it was another level of intensity, so to say. Wasn't it? Usually it had worked well with things that I had already encountered before.
Yeah,
right.
Surprise, the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that can catch you. Yeah.
It wasn't entirely new, but it was something that I hadn't really, that I wasn't at all comfortable with trying to face. So it didn't work that well.
And yet you still maintained enough presence to at least try to work with it.
Yeah, what else was I gonna do, man? I was behind the wheel, and there was no place for stopping at that point where it happened.
Well, sounds like it could have gone a lot worse then.
Yes.
But you got through it.
Yes.
You rode it out. There was a degree of mindfulness there to say, is there anything I can do with this? And maybe the answer turns out to be no, but in the game of process orientation, that's an A+.
If I could have, I would have stopped the car and just taken a little break there, but there were no places to stop the car at that moment.
Right. So you got to keep going. I suppose I'm reminded of the way that the Zen folks run their sessions. Their super long, super intense retreat periods where they would practice for some ridiculous amount of hours of the day, 14 hours of the day or something, for weeks at a time. Nowhere to run. Just you and your dukkha.
I think driving specifically can bring out some interesting things depending on your level of tiredness and how long the drive is.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's such a familiar thing that you've done so many times, and that you have a lot of childhood memories of being in the car, probably. So I've noticed that it can be quite interesting, like driving. I quite enjoy driving. That's kind of my like fantasy, like alternative life is like becoming a truck driver, because I think it's really meditative to just sit. You just kind of sit there and you know, you can't really, you know, maybe you don't want to get too far out meditatively, but you can, you know, it's pretty meditative.
Yeah, and I imagine you'd have free reign to do phone calls, to listen to stuff, to do whatever you please on the road. So I think it'd probably suit all of us guys pretty well. Yeah.
But I think specifically like it, I don't know what it is, but there's something about the road, and like if it's dark or something like that, that it can really trigger something in your brain. But it's been a long time since something like that has happened. But just specifically that you mentioned that it was on the road. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could have something to do with that too.
And the coolest thing about the whole thing today was I was terrified of driving, and I almost thought maybe I should take the train. But something today, even despite this, despite the fear that I felt, there was a kind of strange determination that I didn't feel was coming from me, so to say. That was like, you're gonna take the car, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
And then when I got here, I haven't figured it out, and I also am a bit too tired today to do it. But when I got here and to our flat and saw Nora again after a week, I don't know why, but it brought up a lot of difficult stuff, and I'm a bit pissed about it because I was actually looking forward to just like hugs and cuddles, and instead I don't know, there's some kind of some kind of ugly, probably egoic reaction that I can't yet really explain or pinpoint what the hell happened.
Okay, well, still you're looking, and certainly with regard to all the road trip stuff, it sounds like once again, Doug, although the phenomena are challenging, the practice is right on.
Yeah, man. I actually had a feeling lately, like this last few days, where I actually sometimes felt like, man, I might actually be becoming part of the flow again. Like guidance, effortless guidance without any doership, so to say.
Delightful.
Yes, that's the only thing that kind of gives a bit of hope.
Yeah, and then phenomena can do what they like. You're just enjoying the show. Sounds great, brother.
Did you guys spend Christmas apart then?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, just as like an outside observer, like that obviously can have some effect, even if you're away for like a week. You know, like you can think, oh, when we come back together, but then like something about, oh, if you know, it could have triggered something there, some egoic thing of like, oh, we didn't spend Christmas together, you know, like that's, you know, whatever, some stupid societal like pressure thing of like that you're supposed to spend your holidays together with your significant other or whatever.
Yeah,
I know in the past I've had that with partners or whatever when we've not spent holidays together, even if the holidays don't mean anything to me. But
yeah, that's possible too. But I suspect that it's somewhere into the direction of man. This kind of entry into the flow, so to say. I kind of felt very, very open and vulnerable, and as if something recoiled from that as soon as I was again in contact with someone that I was so close to. I mean, I felt that with my parents, it's kind of easy to kind of maintain a certain kind of distance in a way. And then when there's someone with whom that kind of distance I actually wouldn't really want to maintain, so to say, then there might be this kind of recoil, even if I don't, when there might be a thing that there's too much openness, too much vulnerability or whatever. It kind of felt like that.
Okay. Well, can you practice with that too?
Yeah, sure. What else is there to do, man?
What else is there to do? Yeah. Right. So I love, you know, I've always loved, Doug, since we've been speaking, how you're kind of all in with this, and it may or may not be by your own choosing, but you seem to be accepting it.
Once you've seen it, you can't look away. You know, once you've seen a flash of it, you can't pretend like it's not there anymore. That's the feeling I get anyway. As far as what, like you said, what else is there to do? The other thing is just pretend like you didn't see it, but it's too late for that. It's already we've already opened that door.
Has sailed.
Yeah, right. You can't get back to the shore of illusion. No.
Yeah, and I mean, Pandora's box is way too open, way too much by now to shut it again.
Shut it and pretend like it was never open. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing you can hope is that sometimes you may put on your shades so that the light isn't too blinding.
Yeah, good. What's been happening with you, Joe? How's the farm?
Yesterday specifically was a really challenging day, where I had this day where it just felt like life was just sort of passing by, and it was one of these days where I was just not really caring, and what I was doing, I was just so tired of it that I just stopped and just sat under a tree for I have no idea how long I sat there, but it was pouring rain, and I just sat there and just didn't care.
Great.
And yeah, and then it got better, and then it's weird because like there's part of me that's like thinking, oh, you've figured it out now, like you're not gonna have that like intense bad feeling anymore, like it's never gonna happen again. And then when anything rough starts to happen, it's like, oh no, here it is again. But at least now I know, okay, well, instead of like being scared of it, like, all right, well, like kind of like what Dog was saying, there's not much to do here. Besides, I just am gonna have to deal with this, and that's just how it is, So it was kind of interesting, but it's kind of funny how I watched my ego structure being like thinking that it has things figured out, thinking that it's smarter now, and that I've got the magic formula to have a smooth life, and there's nothing that's going to touch me anymore. And
then circumstances.
This is just how it's going to go. And there's nothing even specifically that happened. Like nothing happened at all yesterday, which was so interesting. I was just like, what in the world are you feeling so shit about right now? Like, and you just get angry, and then you're like, okay, but that's not going to help. You know that. Like, let's come back and then try it again. Try what's the strategy that you have here? What do you have to do? Try observing. Try seeing what's going on with your body. And yeah, I just got so frustrated. I just sat under this tree in the pouring rain, like 8 degrees outside, and was like, all right, we're just going to keep sitting here. You're not going to die. So you're safe and secure exactly where you are. And your mind runs to like, oh, you should go someplace warm. You should warm up and do this. And then you could go sit on your computer even and watch some YouTube videos. And you're like, okay, but you're just putting off the inevitable here, which is, it's just funny though. It's so funny how you so are convinced when things are going smoothly. Like, I so haven't figured it out. Nothing bad is going to happen ever again for
it tricks us in like a multitude of ways, doesn't it? It tricks us so many different ways, and it's like,
yeah. This is why I remember whenever I would take the issue of attainment to Dhammarato, he would just tell me stories about how it was everyone else who would talk about Achan Po's attainment by talking about how long it had been since they'd seen him angry. Things like that. How he always had time for people. They'd never seen him in a hurry. Right. So I stopped talking about attainment with Dhammarato after some time, because I thought I'm not going to get what I want out of this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get my yardstick.
It was skillfully deflected, these questions.
Always.
Very Aikido.
You are.
So, I mean, that sounds amazing to me. That moment of just, I throw my hands up in the air. I surrender to it. I don't give a fuck. It's just going to do what it's doing, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy the show in the fucking rain, because that's where we are. Right?
I mean, I had my rain clothes on. I had jacket. I had gloves. I had a hat. I was like, I can sit here forever.
Yeah.
As long as you want to keep feeling like this, okay, we're just gonna keep sitting here. And yeah,
kind of like a stakeout.
Yeah, a little bit, but it was. I don't know. I still don't really. I don't really understand. I don't understand it at all. But it's not my job to try to understand why these things come up when they do. They just come up in practice when they come up, and but it's so hard because your mind wants to pinpoint and be like, what is the cause? What did I do wrong? Like what is it?
What did I do wrong?
It's so like I'm so scared of this, like, because I've had this a lot in my life. It's a pattern for me of this ambivalence towards life, of like watching my life pass by and not really caring what happens and just being like, whatever. If I'm killing another day until I die, and that's sort of one of my sort of like my darkness or whatever that I've seen that's there, and but this time it was like it was there, but yeah, it was there for the day and for a few hours. And today I woke up and was like the same sort of ambivalence towards the day, but for some reason I was like, oh, but today I want to go do this, then I want to go do this, and when it was sort of like, wait a minute, like this is kind of nice. I don't know.
Sounds like liberation to me. That old feeling, that old conditioning ain't pushing you around no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex?
Oh man, Joe, I came at the perfect time because that is exactly what I have been experiencing lately. And today, I woke up this morning and it was like, oh, I don't want to. I saw it. Oh, I got it. Yes. That's how my day started. And every time I saw it, I was like, went to the bathroom, start taking my shower, and I'm like, oh, this is great. This is success. Why? I've already had like 3 moments of success today. Man, how many more can I get? Let's go. I'm standing there in the shower, I'm like feeling good about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, but like, what do I need to do? I need to do something to like keep this up. I need to do like, oh, there it is. I need to do something. No, I don't. Okay. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to do anything right now. And it is, you're so right. It's so tricky. Like how it'll come there and it'll there. And it'll get you at every single corner until you've seen all the corners. And you're like, oh, I saw that one before. And I think that's what it is. That's what's happening. It'll come up with new ways to, throw you off your game, so to speak. But as soon as you realize and see all the corners, there's no more that can get you, at least until there are. And then, the same thing just applies. And I'm noticing, like, especially when I get into like states where I feel really good and things feel really, like, whoa, like that, like kind of like, whoa, this is pretty cool right now. And then it'll be steady, and then something will happen and it'll be like, wait, where's the whoa? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Oh, wait, no, that's clinging. Wait, that's craving. That's clinging to something that's not here now. Oh, okay. And it's like constantly it's going up and down, this way. Like it's always moving. That's something that Dom Morado was talking to me about last night. He's like, it's always moving. And like the best thing I think I'm starting to see we can do is like, oh, sure, okay, so I don't get my good state. I don't get my happy good state that I had like a week ago or 2 minutes ago. But what do I have? I have the opportunity to practice right now. I have the opportunity to celebrate winning. That I've seen that. I have the ability to cultivate that skill. Dom Morado, he's been saying like, we're not trying to build a house of cards. We're not trying to build a winner out of ourselves. We're trying to develop the skill of winning, the skill of celebrating winning, not winning itself, not actually being a winner. Because the point is to build the house of cards and know that it's going to fall down, and that being okay too. So I'm starting to just like kind of see like, okay, it's not about states. It's not about, attaching to milestones on the path. It's not about, wanting this over that. It's really about, yes, it's about right now, what can I do? What is Dukkha Nirodha right now? And that's all there is. And anything but that, I suffer, I'm dissatisfied, I'm miserable. So even if I'm like, well, wait, but I want the good state back. Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna suffer then. But then I can relax and I can, okay. Oh, you want to tell me that I need something right now? Okay. I see that. That's fine. I'll just relax. You hang out over there. I'll be over here. We'll have a beer. It's like whatever. You gotta like play with it because it literally will drive you mad if you don't. That's what I've started to see. Like we have two choices about this. We can either go with the river of flaming fury, or we can go with the okay, yeah, we'll play by your rules and I'll still enjoy them. It's
changing the rules of the game.
Yeah, expanding your bag of tricks there. Yeah. So right. within right attitude, then you have these different kind of hats that you can put on.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what I'm starting to see too. And it's like, it's it's just like, I think the more and more tricks you have, the more and more like you go at it, the more and more you see that in the end you come out winning. You come out winning. You come out with the success. Even if it wasn't originally on the terms that you wanted, you still are coming out with that success.
Amazing, brother.
Thanks, guys. It's awesome to hear everybody, because really that's like everything I've been going through too. And hey, this is it. And we have really great people around us. We have really great support. So, we can rest assured knowing that, well, hey, if it doesn't feel quite right, if it doesn't feel like how we want it to feel, okay, let's use our practice right now. We have our abilities, right? We have the abilities that we've cultivated, and then those before us have, they practiced a lot longer. They experience they've experienced everything that we're experiencing, so we know that they'll have some kind of light amidst our darkness.
Inspiring words, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Very, very nice. Very nice indeed.
And then, one other thing I noticed is like, so it'll come in levels, right? Because I'll get excited about like, oh, I see you irritation, or I see you frustration, and I'll relax from that. But then after a while, what I'm noticing is it can kind of just be like a flicker. Like you notice it like as a flicker, like, oh, there's that. Oh, I just be present now. I can just be present. Oh, how great. I can be present again. And then a flicker, like, oh, I can be present again. It doesn't have to be, I need to make sure I see everything first. Wait, did I miss it? Where is it? Where's the, wait, what was that? I don't know what it was. Because then that becomes a problem too. And that's what I've noticed. So it's like, wait a minute. I'm not trying to get to know you. I just want to be able to sit down with you and, be comfortable while you're there. So, hey, it's okay. I don't need to know exactly what you are or, what your name is. I can just enjoy being here right now with it. It's fine.
Take a gold star, go to the top of the class.
Woo! And hey, the thing is I know right now, like, hey, I might not feel good later. Okay. Hey, well, that's future. Okay. Well, hey, here's the present. I can enjoy being in the present right now. I got no business thinking about that. That's not going to help me.
Yeah, I'm loving the amount of different little subtle strategies that you've developed now. that you can deploy wisely.
Yeah. And then also another thing I've noticed is as I get more and more immersed into enjoying the present moment, things become very quiet and very still and very like it's like whoa, this is really cool. Really cool. Yeah.
Great. Love it. Good practice. Hey, Ron.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Another great day as usual.
Great.
Now,
Where are you heading off to?
I'm going to my friend Max's house. Probably gonna play some pool. Maybe go in the pool.
Great. That sounds like a lovely December day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's just casual, relaxed, do the things that I like to do.
Where are you at, man?
He's in Florida, right?
Yeah, Florida.
All right.
Yeah, it's the crackhead state of America.
Woo! How's practice, Ron? All good?
Huh?
How's practice? All good?
Yeah, but that's actually
still sailing along.
There's something I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
And I know we've talked about this before, not too long ago, but I wanted to like ask you about it again a little more in detail, like how psychedelics can like tune into practice, because you know I've been practicing consistently every day, and you know I like to feel like I'm able in my practice to get to like a nice state of equanimity, you know, where I'm able to like relax a little, see things more clearly, and then I'll have like a psychedelic experience, and you know I'll do my practice with it, and it's like 20-fold what I would normally experience.
Well, there's a way in which psychedelics make everything 20-fold, isn't there?
Yeah, no, there really is. But you know, I guess what I was wondering is, does it have any legitimate relation, or is it just, you know, another thing going on inside the head, or does it vary on each person, each experience?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's enough variables in the human mind as it is. Once you start chucking psychedelics in there.
Yeah, no, that is very true.
What I noticed, or maybe noticed, is a bit too much. One teacher that I've been in interaction with, he used psychedelic this process quite a lot, and he said that it's basically a matter of how fast you want to go. That psychedelics won't show you anything that isn't there yet, but that what they mainly do is it's more in the same amount of time than without. It doesn't mean that it's more overall. It's just kind of an accelerator.
Hey guys, so I have a few comments about this. How are you?
Good, man.
So yeah, well, talking about psychedelics, like they're still happening here. Like you can get a ton of substance, but they're still happening here. Like it's all in the brain still. Like they break connections with neurons and flip your liquids up here. So it's like going on the same trip, like just in an altered state, you know. Like I first had a spiritual experience with LSD, which was kind of, like I might say it, but it was fucked up, man. Like you really go places that you're like, what the fuck am I? Like I really couldn't tell reality from my own mind, and that was like, wow. That really brought me to another level of right now realizing unpredictable. Yeah, that's the word. That's really the word. Like, and yeah, it's right now I can see it and we're like, wow, yeah, I lost connection with the world. Like I wasn't able to reconnect to on a conscious level, like right now with meditation, with breathing, with being happy, just like Alex shared. Like, wow, man, crazy, congratulations, man. And well, with drugs, it's really unpredictable and too quickly and too easy to get clinged on. Like,
I've certainly heard those kind of reports before. I loved Rick's previous comment as well. What's the rush?
I mean, yeah, you like the double entendre there.
But go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, in my last conversation with Damarato, I spoke to him about a book that I just started reading called Seeing That Freeze by Rob Berbier. And the book is all about cultivating new ways of seeing things. And so it's sort of like you'll have all of these different perspectives in your mind that you can look at reality from, and then those will sort of coalesce into this larger, like, bigger picture understanding. Okay. And so I think I'm not really very experienced with psychedelics, but one of the things that I assume that they help people to do is take very, very novel perspectives. And then maybe those novel perspectives can, if you can bring some of those perspectives back into your everyday life, that can then sort of help enrich your understanding. So it's like what Alex was saying, like there's all these different tricks that the mind throws up, and each one of them needs a slightly different sort of, you got to push slightly different buttons to get around that and get out of that suffering and not get tricked. And so the way I assume psychedelics might work would be, it could give you some particular way of gladdening the mind that might come in handy that you'd never have thought of without them, because they are such a novel and altered state. And that was it. Yeah, I don't really have much experience with them, but that's sort of my assumption.
Sounds reasonable to me. Novel perspectives.
Your assumption is not very far off.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'll back that up too, personally. Yeah, without going into a lot of detail. I second that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Alex,
Ron.
You had your hand up.
Yeah. Also, Robert, love your voice, mate. You should start a podcast or something. I don't know if that's something you do. You got the microphone.
Thanks.
But
yeah. I got this for a podcast actually. I did one with my mate. We've only done one episode though.
Oh, that's awesome.
On his YouTube channel. Yeah. I'll put a link to it if you want to check it out. It's quite cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, post it. Ron, so I love that you asked that, man, because for the past probably for about the past almost 2 years, and Dad can attest to this, I've been on part of another Discord server that has been really, really an advocate for psychedelic use. And I did them quite a lot in the beginning. And what I noticed is, I mean, the experiences, I think if you're authentically interested in like seeing more of yourself, and you're just interested in this whole process, which we all wouldn't be here if we weren't, you're gonna see things on psychedelics probably that are kind of like, oh wow, that's kind of wow, I didn't see that before. Oh wow, that's cool. And I've had opportunities to really let go during psychedelic experiences, to like really find my threshold of letting go and allowing it to surrendering.
Because you have to understand, I've been like that for like the past 2 years as well. Like psychedelics have been with me throughout the beginning of this journey, and up to recently I've started using them a lot less and less, and kind of getting to these levels on my own. But it just baffles my mind. Like 2 days ago I took an 1/8 of shrooms, and I'm suddenly simply able to experience something that even up to this day, even with all my previous experiences, is unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. And this felt like a lot more tuned into my meditation practices. It's like, the more I meditate, the deeper that I'm able to go with these psychedelics, and the deeper I'm able to dive in.
Yeah, well, what I would say to that, like the only thing I was gonna say is, I think since hearing more about Dan's approach and Damarado's approach to the spiritual path, I mean, I was more resistant to that at first. I was kind of like going all out, like just allowing everything to be as it is. Whereas now I'm much more interested in deliberate practice because I'm seeing the benefit of moment to moment practice in freeing the mind up to see, not only see clearly, but to also treat what is seen clearly with gentleness, with love, with a genuine kind of, a skill, with a genuine kind of support, a genuine also like just dropping away of things as well. Whereas a lot of times during my psychedelic use and just allowing everything to be as they are, a bunch of garbage would come in the room, but I wouldn't have the skills to really completely clean that out. So, who knows? I don't know. Maybe this combined with psychedelics would be an interesting experience, but I mean, it would be helpful. I don't know. I feel like it.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. Like I would mix my practice in with psychedelic usage. Like I would sit down and do my practice, and I don't know. I don't want to say it blew my mind, but like practicing under the influence of the mushrooms for me, it almost felt like for every minute that I would sit down, it was actually almost like an hour, and the conditioning that I've had was just breaking down so much easily. Like I literally remember there was a period of time where I sat down and like I was simply focusing on the raw sensations, and the area in which these raw sensations arised and passed away started to become a little more non-local, to the point where like it was literally just sensations, and it was all kind of closing in towards like the center somewhere. And I don't know, I felt like there was like an event horizon, almost like a mirror of experiencer versus experience that I could have like jumped through. And I saw that and I felt as if I had the choice to jump through, but I didn't. And even though I didn't,
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, even though I didn't, after having that experience, I just got like such immense joy, almost like I've never even experienced just immense, genuine joy like that before, even off psychedelics, simply for existing. And just whatever I was doing, it was all joy, it was all love. Even like I was at my friend's house and we were playing ping pong, and I realized like I didn't even care if I was winning or losing, because I just enjoyed playing the game so much. And it really like it helped solidify the idea of like gratitude, and how everything just is love and kindness and joy.
Wonderful. So that sounds to me as though you got the accelerator effect from that particular experience. And I know, Ron, that you're someone who knows what you're doing with these substances. So there's less danger for you perhaps than someone who's less experienced.
Yeah.
Though I will plant my flag most firmly in Rick's statement of unpredictable. Sadly, psychedelics are always going to be unpredictable, right? So the question that arose in my mind was, do I need them? Do I need them? At one point, I was very interested in exploring, wanted to see everything there was to see in the mind, wanted to have all those wacky experiences. But the question, is it necessary?
Yes.
Became more and more appropriate, more and more relevant, more and more that question seemed, is it necessary? Something else that occurred to me was a question of trust. can I trust what I'm seeing when I've ingested something, as opposed to when I'm just sat on my ass? How can I verify the validity of that experience? And of course, it's always going to be a mixed bag, right? It sounds like you're getting wonderful things from this and you're going to go ahead and integrate and all of that. But in the end, for me, I came to the place where I felt I wanna go raw when I sit, when I practice. I want there to be no variables. I want there to be no handicaps or boosters or anything, right? Anyway, Joe, I know you raised a hand. Debbie's got a hand up here as well. Let me pass the mic.
I think Dog was first.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to point out this. I've found it helpful to approach psychedelics with the attitude of okay, whatever you experience during these trips, also from maybe like what you feel, how high you can go, that it's kind of to be, of course, in the best case enjoyed, but also taken with a grain of salt. They might show you what's possible, like down the road. They may open the gate to seeing, hey man, this is something that could be a more frequent experience, and also, but they can only show that for a little while, so that you get a taste for it, and that you maybe know what you might shoot for in the long run. And the other thing that I've really experienced that they are really helpful for is the emotional release. I think, at least within the past year, I didn't cry as openly and as nicely as on my last mushroom trip. It was amazing in a way. And also the few days afterwards, I had a few very nice cries, which were very cathartic. So that's one of the biggest.
Yeah. Well said, Doug.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite analogy to use for stuff like this, I like saying, psychedelics are like steroids for the path.
Yeah.
Almost like, if you're already doing the right things without it, using it as well might benefit you greatly, even though the results of it aren't lasting. But if you see it as a shortcut to get to where you want to be, then it's not gonna work out.
And like steroids, it also has side effects. Yeah, Rick's right there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, psychedelics can have too sometimes.
Yeah, I could tell you some experiences, man. I mean, like, I've done a lot of psychedelics, and like, there were some points where I lost a couple months of my life because I just fucking lost my mind,
Wow.
And
yeah.
And my reality got shattered at a point where I wasn't ready for my reality to be shattered, and it took me a month to recover. Like, literally.
How do you know when you're ready?
Time disappeared, and I lived for infinity.
The time is a fake natty.
And I wasn't really ready for that experience at that time. I think if it would happen to me now, I'd just be like, wow, this is awesome. I just get to sit here with no time. But at that time, it was terrifying and shattered me as a person. So just be careful is all that I'm saying with that, basically, because it can be fun to explore, and like, you're like, oh, I can, let me really try to get ego death. I really want to see what that ego death thing is all about. And then you take like a heroic dose, and like, yeah, I don't know.
And then Icarus, right? You could totally
when I was
Icarus.
at that level, I just took DMT.
Joe.
Yeah.
You said you had reality-breaking experiences before you were ready for them. Having gone through that, when do you think someone would be ready for that experience?
Yeah, I think you're never really ready for something like that. It kind of just happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hard to say because, like, I mean, like, now I'm at my life, and I'm like, well, if I hadn't had that happen, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I can't really say for anybody, but like I wouldn't wish that experience on anybody just on a practical level, because my life practically was very difficult for a time period after that.
What did you do and how much?
It's this thing called like a Hawaiian baby.
Yeah, what happened?
Actually, and I combined that with mushrooms.
What?
And yeah, and I smoked, and I didn't think it was kicking in, so I smoked weed, and that like really like
Oh, nice.
did it, because like I thought I didn't take enough, so I took more, and then I was like not feeling anything, so I was like, I'll just take mushrooms too, so that way I feel something.
Oh my god.
Just a mixed, literally a mixed bag.
And then I was like, I'm still not feeling anything. Well,
See the colors.
Take a hit.
No, that sounds like a crazy mixture.
That was just it, you know. But I was like 21 at the time, so it was like 12 years ago now.
So you basically screwed a 15-watt light bulb into a power plant.
But at that time it was like my life was kind of crazy. I mean, at that time in my life I was smoking weed every day constantly, and I drank pretty much every day, and was taking psychedelics very regularly. So
No, that is actually crazy, though.
yeah. But I was just thinking that was my way of exploring or whatever, you know. But it was all under the pretense of like, yeah, thinking that I was exploring things, and it brought me to the path, you know.
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience. Yeah, no, from my personal experience, I started taking psychedelics, and I kind of came to the conclusion that they were like, it was a tool, you know, it was a tool that if used right could yield great results. And with that being said, I wanted to try the best tool. So I went straight to DMT after a few experiences with mushrooms and LSD. And I feel like that at some point, even though it does completely, like, you know, destroy your sense of reality, you kind of accept it in a sense, because you know, like, I feel like at least after doing my research, I was able to realize that 5-MeO DMT is the most potent, insane psychedelic that you could find on this planet. You know,
yeah, but the thing with DMT is that it shoots you off into space, and you don't really have like a choice, and it's like a choiceless thing, and it happens so quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there's variations on other psychedelics that are quite
I don't know.
interesting.
I thought it was a beautiful experience.
Oh yeah. I love.
You know, there are different types of DMT too.
Yeah, I mean, I've done ayahuasca a lot, and like it's really beautiful experience, you know. But it's just to say that like at a certain point, I sort of realized that like I hit a barrier with it though, and like it was like not really it wasn't really helpful after a while. And I like the main thing for me too at the time, I was trying to be my own psychiatrist and deal with like trauma and stuff on my own, and had read lots about like psychedelics helping with trauma healing and stuff like this. So yeah,
one of the things
it can be a helpful tool, but it can be dangerous, like self-medicating and doing that, and it really does. It can like shoot you, like accelerate your thing, but yeah,
I mean,
it's just
I've
one of
only
these
taken
things
it once.
yeah.
One of the things that I love
I
about
just wanted to have
Dharma
that experience once
is that I think with the Dharma, we're not gonna, or we're unlikely to have that experience of being thrust into some territory that we're not ready for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and so Doug, I know that. I know you might feel like you're the exception to that rule, but
surely I'm not. But
the monks traditionally would always balance samatha with vipassana for precisely this reason, that when the insight got a bit crazy, they had their samatha to rely upon. They could call upon that skill of calm abiding to stabilize, to tell themselves that everything was going to be okay. when their whole sense of self was falling apart, etc. So we're typically ready for what we see with the Dharma. And this is where, you know, our individual experience has to come into the picture as well, Ron. Like I said, I know that you're experienced with this stuff. I struggle to imagine you being reckless. So it's different for everyone, right? It's very different when you know what you get
at the same time, you still are under the age of 25, and your brain still is developing. There is that to keep in mind. Just as somebody who's older and has experienced that in a negative way, to just point that out, just so that you're aware. Because anything you consume at this point is still affecting your brain scientifically, like until you're 25, you know. So just to point that out. But
I know, but I wish I could
go back
in
time and not smoke so much weed when I was younger, basically, because
I would like to think that I have a pretty solid decision-making ideology and emotional basis regardless. Like, I know that your brain doesn't finish developing until 25, but I also believe experiences open up to people differently, and more people are able to, some people are able to experience more out of the same thing than others. I also believe maturity is not something that's defined by age. So I know that on a technical level, I still have a few years until my brain is done developing. But I also, you know, I look at the people around me, and I see myself as more mature and most developed around than most people.
Oh, for sure. I think what Joe's pointing to is physical structure.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. Yeah.
But you're physically rewiring your brain, but you're doing that in a good way, obviously.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
using it as a tool, you know.
Yeah, right. So so there could
at the end of the day, mushrooms increase neural plasticity. To say.
But it's also kind of being Frankenstein a little bit, of kind of like, you know.
Yeah,
messing with it a little, like, you know what you're doing, but at the same time, you know, it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Really,
I mean, maybe like I suffer from migraines really bad now, and I wonder how much of my experimentation as a younger adult has to do with that, you know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, and you can't know, right?
Oh,
right,
well,
no idea.
You guys know,
you just deal with it. It's fine.
Joe, I've actually had talked to one of the teachers that I'm in contact with, and he stated that like migraine-like headaches are pretty normal on the spiritual path. I've also experienced it at some point, luckily not as frequently, but he said that he said he put forth the explanation that they are kind of unresolved mind tensions, unresolved conflict in a way. So it mustn't necessarily be that you, so to say, fucked something up.
Yeah. No, I tend to think that it's like my brain is, I am rewiring. We're all rewiring it. We're trying our best, right? That's the whole practice, is to try our best to come back and think in a way that our brain doesn't naturally think, and that obviously has some effect. But in my case too, it's also like, I think it's a serotonin deficiency because like I used to abuse alcohol, and I was a professional poker player for a bunch of years, and there's quite a lot of like up and downs serotonin wise with that. So I was kind of just like a little bit, I don't know. And you just like, as long as you're aware of these decisions that you're making. I mean, I knew the decisions I was making then too. I wasn't stupid, but you know, you're just trying your best with the situation you have, and you're like, holy shit, I have all this like past childhood shit to deal with, and I can't afford a therapist, and well, I can read on the internet about people doing all this stuff, so I'll try this out, you know, and whatever. But I hear what you're saying about the migraine thing being common, but yeah. I mean, I think Ron, from what you're saying too, like the way, like it can be really like I mean, some of the most beautiful experiences in my life have been these sort of like open heart experiences that you're describing, you know, is that like it can get to the emotional heart center in a way that is so quick, you know, and make you open up. And that doesn't really close totally ever after that, you know, and that's what's
Exactly.
beautiful is you can tap into it because you know what it feels like now and you can tap into it.
Exactly.
That's
Because
sort
you've
of like
experienced it before, even if it
yeah,
was
you know,
fabricated through
right, you
external
know.
stimuli.
Yeah, you actually experience, and it's not really fabricated because you actually experienced it, right?
Well, I say fabricated in the sense that you took something to experience it.
Yeah, but your experience is different than somebody else's because I've talked to people who take psychedelics and they're like, there's nothing spiritual about that at all, you know, and
of course,
like, and so it's
also
how
takes
you're
the wrong
yeah.
reason.
Yeah. But some people try. I mean, I've been with people who they try to have a spiritual experience, and then they're just like, there just was nothing about that. Like it was just like totally terrifying for them, or it was totally awesome, but kind of like a party drug. And I don't know why our brains react totally differently to different things.
Yeah.
And some people get super strongly affected. But I mean, I know that I'm like salivating at the mouth talking about psychedelics because I'm so that's my attachment still, you know, it's still there like 10 years later, you know.
Yeah. All right, well, I have to go, guys, but it's been lovely talking to you all.
Yeah,
Likewise,
See you, Ron.
I'll see you all next week.
See you, Ron.
Yeah,
Bye, Ron. Well, guys, it seems like everyone's jumping ship at this point, so I'm going to go and get a little something to eat before bed.
Okay.
Great to speak with you all again.
Yeah,
always a pleasure. See you all next week.
Dan.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.